What up? Welcome back to Bold here at UST, where we talk to bold people. We're always proud to talk to very, very good and bold students here in our school. We're proud of our school. I'm your host, Alex Yemeck, and today we're talking about study abroad program, right? And we're talking with definitely with Elizabeth Luna. Am I pronouncing your name
Yes.
right? All right. Caitlyn Carpenter, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
Welcome to Bold in our new podcast, here at UST. Now, I understand that you guys went to the study abroad program, which is usually for freshmen, and you went to Rome, right?
Yes, yes.
And we are going to talk about it today because for me and for people who are listening to us, we have our students here. They may be interested in getting into this. And one of the first thing, of course, we want to know about you ladies is, tell us a little bit about yourselves. Who are you? What are you studying? And what are your hopes, accomplishment in career was? And I want to start with you, Katelyn.
All right. Well, I'm a junior right now. I am majoring in education with a minor in psychology. I want to teach little kids because I love them.
All right.
And I just hope to, if we're really getting into it, I hope to be able to teach them the foundation they need without having to teach them a test. Because standardized testing can be a little hazy. So that's my goal personally.
All right. No, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And, basically you talked about what you're doing. What about, families wise, or do you have brothers and sisters?
I have two biological brothers and a total of 5 step siblings.
All right.
So a very blended family on both sides.
All right. So 3 girls, 2 guys. 2 boys.
Yeah, it's total including biological. I have 5 brothers and 2 sisters.
All right, that's good.
Oh my.
That's good. Big family.
I have to go through each side of the family. Yeah, 5
big
brothers.
family. All right. Yeah. And I know we talked a little bit during the break. Right before the show, we were talking about your religious background, and you say that you're Catholic, right? And
I am Catholic, and I was raised Catholic. I'm not necessarily in practice right now, but that's definitely the foundation that I've had all my life growing up is Catholicism.
Yeah, all right. That's pretty good. So what brings you here at St. Thomas? We're Catholic here, right? You don't have to be Catholic.
No, you don't. We love everyone.
Exactly.
I came because it's in town, and I wanted to stay by my family. I'm very family oriented, but I'm also able to escape my family, if that makes sense, because I got the room to grow and be my own person. So that's why I wanted to come here.
And you're from Houston?
I am. I've been here all my life.
All right. That's wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. Wow. Very, very excited. Elizabeth Luna, right? And tell us about yourself. Tell us about, who you are. What are you studying, your hopes, and all of that. Right?
So I'm also a junior. Me and Katelyn became best friends
freshman
year. And so we've grown with each other a lot. But I'm studying marketing and studio arts. I'm a double major, expected to be a super senior, which is all right because I want that Bachelor of Fine Arts. I'm more focused on my artistic side of my career path because it's what I like. The marketing is there for what is it? I don't know how to say it.
Like a concrete,
It's like a concrete path to keep myself on so that I'm not just dilly-dallying because I tend to go off.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, I tend to go off on a little world or whatever. I am from Houston, but I wasn't born here. I moved here when I was 11, but I consider myself a Houstonian.
All right.
And so I have one older brother. That's it.
That's it?
Yeah, but my parents are immigrants from Mexico, so we have a really big family in Mexico. It's just my parents, my brother, and 1 or 2 other uncles that live in the U.S. I have 8 uncles on just my mom's side, and I want to say 40 plus cousins, first cousins.
Family.
I have a lot of cousins. So yeah, a big Catholic family from Mexico.
No, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I know you talked about your major and all that. What do you think? What do you really want to accomplish in life with everything you're doing now?
I mean, honestly, I just want to be satisfied with who I am as a person, and the only way how I feel that feasibly happening is through art. And like I tend to draw and sketch, and like honestly I can do anything art related. Just depends on like how I don't do very well at it, but like I can do a lot of things. So it's like my way of thinking. I like it's, to me it's strange because everyone else is very like not necessarily vocal, but you can tell what they're thinking, what they're doing. They like somewhat know how to express themselves and what outlets how to do it. The only way how I can think of doing it is like literally going out and doing something. So it's like I'm more of a, I like people need to see a physical manifestation of what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, because otherwise it's like I don't know how to verbally say it. No, it's wonderful.
You know, and now, you know, we know about you ladies and, you know, your what do you want to be in life and all that. Now, you participated in this study program abroad, right? Why did you decide that? Why did you decide to study there in the first place?
I thought it was cool. Honestly, that was it.
What attracted you there, basically? What was it? Was it about traveling? I want to travel, and you know, How often do you girls travel?
I don't. I get too soon, but for me, it was just being able to travel, because I've been out of the country once with my family, but other than that, like I've always been here. So I wanted to get out of this bubble. I wanted to see what does the world have to offer, because I could move there and teach there when I'm older. Like you never know. So I wanted to just see something that wasn't here.
All right. Yeah, that's cool. And same thing for you too.
It for me, yes, but also I travel, but like not very far. So like I just go to like Monterrey, where I'm from, and like that's kind of it. So it's like Texas, Mexico. Okay, that's it. Like we're done.
Yeah. So it was a good thing going far away, to Europe. Seeing, and so tell us a bit about your experience in Rome then. Let's start with you. I know you guys, how many days was that again?
We ended up spending 10 days
abroad.
All right,
so you definitely did a whole lot. Tell us about it.
It felt like we were there for like a month.
All right.
but in the best way. Like
Possible.
we got to do so much in such a little amount of time that like things that I didn't even think we were going to get to do. And we got to explore both faith there, because it is Rome, it's big in Catholicism, but we also got to experience so much culture, and it was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had. I wish I could do it again. Let's go right now.
Yeah. Give us a little bit more details. Like, for example, I know you talked about what you really wanted to see in Rome, right?
I was dying to go to the Trevi Fountain. I had been my aunt had traveled there when she was close to my age, and she was like, if you do this, like we're connected. Like it was like a thing where it's like following in footsteps, I guess.
Like you're not already related to the one.
Hey, it's like it's a different kind of thing, you know? But it was, so to be able to go there and be like, wow, like I can connect to someone in my family in a new way, but also get to experience this in my own way. Because it's also Trevi Fountain, that's a very famous like piece of their culture.
Lizzie McGuire was there.
Lizzie McGuire was there. Which was honestly, that was really cool too. But that was definitely the main thing I wanted to do, is be able to throw a coin in the fountain and wish, even though I almost did it wrong, but that's neither here nor there.
Wow. Yeah. Oh man, that's wonderful, Elizabeth. So tell us about the experience of that study abroad program. What was it? What was the schedule like? How did you guys started? How you guys ended that entire? What is it that you were supposed to do when you were there?
So the schedule was very packed. Like it was. My head was spinning the entire time I was there, and I was the one who was not concussed. It was this one right here.
We're not going to talk about how I had a concussion on this trip. It's okay.
But I mean, it's a part of the story. It's a good chunk of the story. And by good, I mean like good.
Thanks.
But
love you too, Moon.
But it was a very jam-packed schedule. Like almost every morning we would have to wake up around like 6 or 7, eat breakfast for like, I want to say an hour to half an hour. Like most of us would wake up like at the last possible minute because we wanted to sleep. And so we would wake up, like eat our toast or like cereal or whatever, and then like we're out the door like that. And we had our like cutoff time for like activities that were actually planned out was until I want to say like 8 or 9 p.m. about. So like, and then after 8 or 9 p.m. we were allowed to like go and explore and like go see what was around us. So it was like, okay, wake up hop in the van or let's go walking. And then we go on walking lectures, or we go do a service project, or it's always something. Like, you're always doing something. You have like little to no time to rest, but it's not like we felt the need to rest, because we were like the immersion you feel going there, it's like you don't get tired. Like, you're just like, oh my God, look, the Trevi Fountain, the Coliseum, Vatican City. Like, it's like, to me, like, everything was going on so quickly, and like, I'm an extrovert, so like, when things happen around me, I'm like, I get all this energy, and like, I'm ready. And then for like the more introverted people in the group, they were ready, but they were like, oh my God, I'm so tired, I don't want to do anything. So it was very jam-packed, and I very much appreciate that.
Wow, that's wonderful. Now, for people who don't know what the Study Abroad program is, right? So what I want us to kind of do here is, once you going with you, Katelyn, why don't you explain to people exactly, okay, why are you going there? And I know before the show we talked about charitable work and things like that. So what is it that you think the school want people to know about it when they send you guys there? What is it that you're supposed to bring back when you go there?
So you're going for the freshman trip as it's I want to say extension of your freshman symposium. So you're going to work on the values and the topics that you worked on in symposium. So, but I believe the people who are going with you, as well as the university, want you to bring back more than that. You're going to experience these things and to apply teachings that you've learned, but you also want to bring those back with you. So like for us, where we did a whole bunch of service work, but we did it because we wanted to, not because we had to. I feel like they want us to bring that sense of wanting to help others back instead of having people just be forced to do it. So bring back that good sense of we want to help people. Right.
So before we go to the break, tell me about, I want to start with you, Elizabeth, first, your favorite moments in activity, for example.
I'm caught between two parts of the trip. So one of them was whenever we were in Assisi, and our friend Julia, I'm sorry, Julia.
And spell out CC just for people who don't know.
Assisi?
Assisi, you mean the city?
Yeah, the city.
Okay, I see.
The city.
Okay, all right.
But what is it? Julia, we were walking down the hill, because Assisi's like extremely hilly, like inclines are crazy. And so we were walking down, and like we stop at like a lavender shop, and we're like, oh, this is cute. And so we like walk in, we look, and then like Julia and like a couple other people keep walking, and then all of a sudden we hear like, not a grunt, but like she makes a noise. She makes an oof, and like she twisted her ankle in the most graceful way possible. Like she went down slowly. She was like, ah. And like it was so slow, and then like she was in pain because she twisted her ankle, and like it was serious. But like now looking back at it, it's like, how do you do that so gracefully? Like I would have like fallen on my face, and like that would have been that.
Wow.
My other favorite moment was like whenever we went to Vatican City, and we had the walking lecture with with Professor Elizabeth. I can't remember her last name right now, but she was amazing, and I love her, and I wish I could take her for an art history class, except she's in Rome, so.
Wow. What about you, Katelyn?
Oh my gosh, I can't even pin down a favorite moment. Like, the trip was such a wholesome experience for me, but honestly, I think through all that we had, like Luna said, we had such a jam-packed schedule, but honestly, I think my favorite parts were the downtimes we had after, where it was just like, it was raw emotion and exhaustion of each other, like just being able to hang out with the group, because some of these people we had never been friends with. We never thought we would, and so my favorite part was forming the connections with everyone, including our advisors. Like our advisors were amazing. So that was cool.
Now let me ask you this, and let's start with you, Katelyn, right? How has your study abroad experience changed your outlook of education or in your life?
It's actually the thing that really drove me to change my major to education, because I'd been teetering on it with that in psychology, because I wanted to be able to teach others experiences that I went through. It broadened, I don't want to sound cliche, but it literally broadened my horizons of how I think about things here at home, and I wanted to be able to spread that to others if they can't go, because I struggled to go, but I want to help others who can't. So that definitely drove me to do that.
Wow. What about you, Elizabeth? Basically same question. How does that change your experience, your outlook in education, or even in life?
So same thing with Katelyn. It actually like pushed me to change my major to what it is, because I used to be a biochem major, and like I was comfortable with what I was learning. It stressed me out a lot, but like I still knew what I was doing. But at the same time, I wasn't happy with what I was doing. And then like I swear to God, that lecture with the professor Elizabeth, like it was like I want to do art, like that's it, like major is changed, submit form, like I'm done. Hotel Trivago. But but yeah, it really pushed me to change my major, and like now I'm really happy with what I'm doing. Like I love doing art. I love studying it. Marketing's okay.
All right. yeah. And I know before the show we talked about, and even in the first half of the show we talked about your spiritual life, and you guys say you were into you were both Catholics, but you're not as practicing Catholic, right? But then my question becomes, there's you went to Rome and you saw all these, you did all these charitable work, right? Did it affect your spirituality in any way?
Yeah.
We'll start with you, Katelyn. Yeah.
I would say yes. I'm still not practicing as much, but being able to truly help people and being able to see how different situations are affecting others across the globe caused me to be like, okay, well, maybe you should get back involved with this, because this was a good way for you to my faith is my faith, but it's also a good way to be able to get involved with others. And so I think that really kind of drove me to be like, well, maybe we should get back into this. Maybe we should go, so you can really, because I love service work. I love helping others. It's one of the reasons I want to be a teacher. And so that really drove me to kind of get back into it, to find that happiness again helping others. For sure. For sure.
Yes, and Elizabeth, and yes, some people who do charitable work, like when I listen to Katelyn speaking, some people who do charitable work would say, well, we don't necessarily need to be spiritual to do this, but for you and both of you doing all these things that you guys did there, can you really say that your spirituality changed? Was this something, because I know Catholicism is very deep sometimes, it's probably you may not understand certain things. How did that really change you spiritually?
I feel like it really did, because I come from a very deeply religious background. Like I have an uncle who's like a priest, like and like a lot of my family is just very deeply religious. So for me, it's like I was always surrounded by it, and like I didn't necessarily have the most positive experience with that. And so going there, it kind of like helped me change my view a little bit on Catholicism, because it like kind of helped me like personalize my faith to who I am without having to like exclude like what makes you Catholic, like I'm still practicing Catholic values, but not necessarily practicing like going to church regularly and things like that. So it's like, and being able to find that pattern was like really influenced by what we did. So like the sisters at, what was it called?
Oh my goodness.
Sisters of Charity.
Charity.
Yes, those.
Sisters of Charity.
I talked to them, and we were just like talking about like our spirituality and religion and things like that, and they were like, you may not be like at a place where you want to be now, but like they were just very endearing and very nurturing about like it didn't matter where you were with like with God or with whatever religion you're practicing, like just know that like you're moving forward from where you are now, and even if you like take a couple steps back, that's okay too. Like it's just the message that there is a higher being or a God somewhere saying, hey, I love you, keep going. Like that's like, I don't know what it is about that very simple message that's very universal. It just like helps you in like the very big things in your life.
It gives you the extra push.
And I think I think one of the things that the church is trying to teach here is that before the one God, right? Before we believed that they were one God, these different beliefs, kind of gave us an idea that the poor, right, didn't have wouldn't have any good things happening to them. But with the coming of Christ, Christ was poor himself, saying, look, you know what? In the eyes of God, everyone is very important. There's a love there. And I think, that studying abroad and the religious part of it, I think that's a little bit of what the church is trying to teach you. That, hey, look, if you're looking at people, the charitable work that you're doing, is because the church, with the love of God, saw that coming. That, hey, it's not because someone is poor and somebody is homeless that he doesn't have the same love that a rich person will have in the eyes of God. And I think that's where kind of the church is kind of bringing people. Hey, look, you don't have to be all of that spiritual, going to church, but just the understanding that, hey, you know what? We understand that the God that we praise, the God who looks at everyone, right, the same, right. And when you study history, for example, we see the part where these beliefs in Egypt that only the pharaohs will go to heaven and nobody else. You see what I'm saying? But with the coming of Christ, what we see is that, hey, you know what? There is no such thing as these person will go to heaven.
Like, we're equal.
Everybody's equal. And I think that's really the message of that. The church is trying to give when they invite these people. And I was going to ask you, do you plan on going back there? I mean, are you planning for a new trip?
We plan for
studying
it, but
abroad?
the funds.
I mean, honestly, I would love to go back. I would love to be able to go back and maybe spend some more time there, just so I can really take my time with taking everything in. I would love to go back. Yeah. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I would love to go back.
Are you guys planning for any study abroad right now?
We hopefully get to do a reunion trip. They opened up France. It's supposed to be another FYESA, but they're opening it up to alumni of FYESAs for France 2020 in the spring, right? Yeah, in the spring.
And like in June, I believe is the date's not concrete yet, but they basically, there's 48 freshman experience study abroad alums, about 48. Yeah. And so the trip is going to be open for those of us in that 48 as well as current freshmen now. And so it'll be interesting that if we're able to go for that, be able to kind of use our experiences from our freshman year as well as coming up as upperclassmen and dealing with the different things we've had to deal with to be able to help mentor the freshmen, as well as be able to see how they're going to be experiencing something like we did.
Wow. Man, that's wonderful. Yes. Wow. Yeah, and talking about that, since you'll be mentoring, then my question will be, what will be, and let's start with you, Elizabeth, right? The top 3 reasons why someone should study abroad.
You get to experience new things, and even though people say it over and over and over again, it really develops you as a person, and it helps you like remove what lens or filters that you have on where you normally are in your everyday life. So to take off that filter and to be able to experience things like completely differently, completely new, it's very refreshing for the mind to know that like it's not just this rigid place that you know already, but it's just a very fluid understanding of the world. Wow. Yep. Wow. That's one.
I love your elaborate one.
Two, just travel. Honestly, just travel. 3, 3, you never know what connections you're gonna end up making. Exactly. So like, even though we were already best friends when we went on the trip, it made us so much closer. Oh my goodness. So it's like you get to keep people for a lifetime if you pick the right ones, and we chose the right ones. So
did you make any connection then since you were there?
Well, we made a stronger connection with each other, but then in turn we also got closer to our other classmates. So like now we're really close to our friend Julia, who twisted her ankle.
I love you, Jules.
Yes. And our other friend Justin, like we're still really close with him. Like it's just the connections you make, they stick with you.
Any Italian connections?
No, unfortunately. I really wish. So whenever I went, I was like very introverted. I was like, I don't want to talk to anyone. Like, no, I don't.
We tried to push her, but it didn't work out.
It did not
well.
work. It did not work.
But look how far she's come.
Yeah, wonderful. Hey, you know what? On your next trip, you never know. All right?
Parlez-vous français?
There you go.
Wow.
So, Katelyn, let me ask you this then. Give me top 3 tips for someone saving up to study abroad.
Okay. I had to save up like crazy. Number 1 tip, believe that you can actually save up. It is... If you don't think you're going to be able to do it, you're not going to be able to do it. So definitely believe that you can save up. 2, don't eat out as much. I'm a college student. Those of you who are listening are probably college students. I know you eat out. We eat out.
Too much.
Well, yeah. So don't try to cut back on that. And then another tip, ask for help. Like, don't be afraid to ask for help. I know some people started even a GoFundMe. Like, you can ask help from strangers, ask help from your family, your friends. Like, and it's not like you're begging them for money. It's just like, hey, I want to follow my dreams and do this. If you can help me, that's great. And if not, that's okay. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
We were willing to do that, and we hate asking people for help. Like, we hate asking people for help, and we were like, spare change. Please. Spare change.
Not quite on that level, but it felt like it sometimes.
Yeah.
Wow. No, thank you so much. It's always a good thing to always talk to students here at St. Thomas, seeing your experience. Try to see how you feel here. So thank you so much, Katelyn. We took Caitlyn Carpenter, right? All right, and Elizabeth Luna. Thank you so much for coming to our show. We are bold. My name is Alex Yemeck. Very happy to host the show again. See you next time.